Hi, my name is Souls Gaming, and this will be a Paragon guide called Everything You Need to Know. Today we will cover the basics of Paragon. In Paragon, there are two currencies which affect your progressions. These are experience points and card points experience. For convenience, we'll refer to them as they're referred to in-game, which is EXP and CXP. The EXP and CXP goes to one of the two circles at the bottom of your screen. Your CXP goes to the bottom left yellow circle, and your EXP goes to the bottom right blue circle. When the yellow circle is filled up, you unlock free card points which is needed to buy items. When the blue bar is filled up, you gain a level and an ability point. These currencies are from killing heroes, destroying towers, and inhibitors, but you will get the majority from killing minions, which leads me to Lasthitting. Lasthitting is a term used in many MOBAs which refers to doing the damage which kills the minion. In many MOBAs you can only acquire gold by Lasthitting, but in Paragon it is slightly different, although still very important. When a minion dies, it will drop 20 CXP as small orbs, which you'll have to go and pick up. However, if you last hit a minion, everyone in your lane gets 100 CXP, which flies towards you and is automatically picked up. This means that last hitting gives you 5 times the amount of CXP, which means you should always strive to last hit. Two important things to know is that you can see the amount of minions killed on the scoreboard, and that unlike most MOBAs, it doesn't matter who gets the last hit in the lane, since you all get the full amount of CXP. The scoreboard can be pulled up at any moment during a match with the tab key. On the scoreboard you can see how many times a person has killed enemy heroes, the amount of times that a player has died, the amount of assists that a person has, assist meaning helping to kill an enemy hero while the allied player got the kill, the amount of last hits which a player has gotten, often referred to in MOBA terms as CS meaning creep score, how much CXP you have looted from your harvesters, and then two very important things, which is which items a player has, and the upgrades placed in them, which can be seen by hovering over them with the mouse, and then the amount of card points that a player has spent. As a new player, the amount of card points spent is a very good way to see how strong a person is. The more card points spent means more items means stronger character. So if you see a hero with a lot more card points spent than yourself, you should refrain from fighting them. On the other hand, if you can see that a person has spent a lot less than you, there's a good chance that he'll be an easy kill. Described in the developer-made 8 tips video, the game consists of 3 paths, which are called lanes. Minions spawns at both bases and will run through these lanes until they meet resistance, which they will attack. When the game starts, everybody except the jungler, which I'll come back to later, will split into lanes and wait for the first minions to arrive. This early phase of the game is called laning phase. It is important that you have at least one hero in every lane. During the laning phase, the purpose is to get EXP and CXP from killing minions while trying to push the enemy heroes out of the lane, so that they miss out on their EXP and CXP, and eventually getting the first enemy tower down. This is one of the most important phases of the game since it's the phase where a team's strength is built up. A good laning phase will make it a lot easier to win over the enemies as the game goes on. While kills can occur in lanes, and it does give a good amount of EXP and CXP, it isn't the point of the laning phase. I have seen many people try to chase kills missing out on glorious CXP and EXP, which makes them miss out on a lot of strength. Be careful not to do that. I said that the way you get EXP and CXP is from minions, kills, and towers. However, there's one more way to get CXP, which is from harvesters. There are harvesters to the side of each side lane, and then 2 harvesters in each half of the jungle. To activate a harvester, you simply need to go stand on the plate in front of the harvester, and after a bit of time, you'll have created the harvester. This process can be sped up by buying a harvester key of any type. After a harvester is placed, it will start to harvest CXP from the ground, meaning it will slowly fill up. Leave it alone and come back later when it's full. Once the harvester is full, simply step on the plate again and you'll harvest the CXP. One thing that makes harvesters great is the fact that your entire team gets those points, so make sure to harvest as often as you can. If you run into an enemy harvester, you can destroy it with standard attacks. Important disclaimer, the buffs might change over time, so the buff stats might not apply to newer patches. The jungle is what the area between the lanes are called, and is the realm of the playstyle we call jungler. The jungle consists of 5 different creature types. White, which are easy to kill and gives EXP and CXP. Blue, which drops a blue buff that gives mana regeneration and cooldown reduction. Red, which drops a buff that gives energy and physical damage and movement speed on hit. Black, which is a mini-boss that drops a buff that deals damage over time to towers you attack. And then Orb Prime buff, which we'll get back to later. It's important to know that blue, red, and black buff will be dropped on the ground and can be picked up by any hero, both allies and enemies. So be careful not to carelessly die once you've gotten buffs, since it will not only nullify the effort spent on getting the buffs, but it will make the enemies stronger by giving them the buff. A jungler mainly gets experience from killing the minions in a jungle. A good idea as a jungler is to get a person to help you kill the red buff, and then go kill white enemies until they're strong enough to gank. Oh, you don't know what ganking is? Let me explain. Ganking is a term used for a person entering a lane to help the person in lane kill the enemy heroes. This is the primary role of the jungler. It can be summed up in one sentence. The jungler does not exist to just kill jungle creatures, he exists to let the enemy feel afraid. Ganking is an important part to tipping the balance in your favor. If you plan to make a gank in a lane, ask the lane to fall a bit back so the enemy has a longer distance to run, and make them check for wards. I will explain wards a bit later. When the enemy goes too far in, run into the lane from behind them and try to get a kill on them. Wards are items you buy and play so you know when you are getting ganked. Make sure to always have a ward to avoid potential ganks from the enemy. Most ganks happen because the person is unaware that an enemy is coming towards them, so a ward might be the difference between living and dying. The minimap is the thing which you have in your upper right corner. The minimap shows you important information, for example positioning of enemies in sight and where allies are on the map. Wards make a small ping on the minimap when an enemy comes into view, so make sure to always have an eye on the minimap. It also shows the path through jungle and where the different buffs and jungle creatures are. If you see a group of enemies, heroes and allied heroes, it usually means one thing. A teamfight is going to start. A teamfight is a fight where the majority of players for both teams are engaging in a fight against each other. These are often where your teamwork shines through the most. A good team can beat a stronger team if they work together and use their advantages. In teamfight, it's very important to focus on the enemies which deals the most damage and are the easiest to kill. And it's important for the very sturdy heroes to protect those who have little health. Team fighting are also a good opportunity for those who aren't in a fight to push lanes. This is known as split pushing. Split pushing is a term used to describe someone who is pushing a lane while the majority of the team is either pushing another lane or is in a team fight. Split pushing is a very important and very efficient strategy in Paragon. A team that loses every team fight can still win if they split push well. Heroes such as Twin Blast and Sparrow are excellent split pushers since they can destroy towers in seconds. On the other hand, Gideon and Gadget are also very good split pushers since they can kill minions in seconds. Split pushing is not only about destroying towers. While it is effective and is the best outcome of a split push, the push itself can also be successful if it confuses the enemies or split them up. If someone is pushing a lane, then the enemy team has to either give up on what they are doing and defend it or lose their tower. So split push effectivity is based on equal destruction and threats of destruction. Inhibitors are the inner defenses of a base. They are different from towers for two reasons. Number one is the fact that they respawn after a certain period of time. The second reason is that when they are destroyed, the minions in the lane will turn into super minions. These minions both hit hard and are hard to kill. Losing an inhibitor will force a team to constantly defend that lane, which leaves the enemy team for a lot of space to push other lanes, get buffs, or even do the Orb Prime. The Orb Prime is the boss on the map. It is recommended that at least a few people are gathered around killing it. Unlike most MOBAs, the Orb Prime is pretty easy to kill for a reason. Killing the boss is not enough. When you have killed the boss, it drops a purple orb. When it's picked up, you will see a circled area on the map which is on the enemy's part of the map. You have to transport the orb to the point without dying. The person carrying the orb will be marked on the map for both teams, so speed and teamwork is crucial. If you die, then you will drop the orb and it can be picked up by either team. If you manage to get it to the point of the map and drop off the orb, you will get a buff that will activate your prime card. The prime cards offer different stats. Currently there's one for physical damage, one for energy damage, and one for tanks. When a card gets activated, you yourself get some stats, but you also get an aura unique to each card. For example, minions deal 300% damage to enemy structures, or minions deal double damage to enemy minions. You can read on the card what it does. Alright, this will be what I have for now. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment section and I will answer them to the best of my ability. The next part of the guide will be focused on items and how they work. See you next time.